not following this rule has to be one of the most common mistakes that I see people making. Now, the best part about this, though, is that all you need to do to correct this issue is to bring awareness that you're even making this mistake in the first place. Now, even though I'm a huge believer in finding a mentor, investing in yourself by, taking courses and things like that, right? Masterminds, all of that. If you make this mistake, even with all that being said, your path is going to be at least 10 times harder than it otherwise would be, even with all those amazing resources. So I want to bring this back to several years ago when I was first getting started on my fitness journey. I was really out of shape and I wanted to make a change, right? And I would go around, I would look for a program, right? And many of you guys probably can level with me on this experience, right? Have you ever had that experience where, you're trying to get in shape, you find a program, and what I did was I took some parts from the program that were convenient, and then I ignored other areas when convenient. So I wasn't fully committed to becoming fit, right? I wasn't fully committed to following the program. Like, for example, I would do all the workouts that were in the program, but I wouldn't follow through on the nutrition part, right? Like, I wouldn't be calculating my calories, my protein, things like that. I was just, I was just skimping out on that. And I'd be like, well, if I just do enough cardio, if I just, lift enough, then it should be fine. And it gets to the point where, you don't even realize, at a certain point, you don't even realize that you're doing this. So wherever you guys are at right now, whatever you're trying to learn, I want you to just take a moment, stop, and just be very introspective, be very honest with yourself. Are you actually following through on the plan? 100%, not 90%, not 80%, not 50%, but 100%, right? Because this is a huge thing. I know this might sound super simple to you guys, and there might even be some of you guys watching right now where you're like, why are you even making a video on this? But I promise you, this is so common, to the point that if you actually become a person that implements, that immediately takes action and full action on something that you learn immediately, you are in the vast minority of people on this planet. Honestly, this is what really truly separates the really successful people from everyone else, right? And like I said, I was once there myself where I would get information, right? I would learn something. And it's even worse if you're investing money and time into something, right? Like if you get a course and you aren't even taking action on the steps that are recommended to you, right? The advice that is given to you. A lot of my clients in the Art of Breaking Code have been asking me, how can I get the most out of the course? And the answer that I would give is that, this doesn't just apply to my courses, right? This applies to anything that you're trying to learn. Take in all the advice and implement all of it, not some of it. Implement absolutely all of it, and be willing to, let the time ride out, right? Don't expect the immediate results, but, act on 100% of the advice over a long period of time. And then after that, if you're not seeing the results that you want, then and only then consider tweaking the plan or something like that. But you have to trust the process. This is something you hear, a lot of experts and people talk about all the time, because it's very true, right? You have to be willing to follow through on the plan to know if the plan's going to work for you or not. And so going back to the fitness, story that I was bringing up, right? It wasn't until I got into another program and I said, you know what? I'm just going to throw out everything I think I know about this. I'm just going to humble myself, and I'm going to take 100% of the advice in this program. I'm just going to follow all of it, and if it doesn't work, if I don't see any results, then I can reevaluate. But I'm not going to assume that I know more than the instructor or anything like that. I'm just going to follow through on this advice. And so I did that, and the results were night and day. They were completely different. And then that's where I really learned, like, going forward, this is how I'm going to approach everything. And I think that's one of the huge factors that has contributed towards my success so far. And I would highly recommend to Be very honest with yourself, because sometimes this can be very tricky. Like I was saying, you might think that you're following through on the plan. You might think you're following 100% of the advice, but if you really dig deep and look at your actions, you might find that you're actually not fully committing yourself to the process. So trust the process. That is the biggest rule. I'll say 100% follow through on your process, whatever that may be, especially, like I said, especially if you're investing yourself, your hard-earned dollars, your hard-earned time into something, into a system, then you're going to want to see that through, right? Wouldn't you want to know if it actually could bring the value to your life that you've been wanting? Right? So that is the only way that you're going to find that out. So hopefully this helped you out. And you know what? I want to know how you're going to start implementing this in your life right now. So let me know down in the comments section below. And one obstacle, I'm just going to warn you guys, one potential obstacle that you might find creep up on you when you try to implement this is that of imposter syndrome. So I really don't want that to be a barrier or roadblock in your way that prevents you from actually executing on this strategy. So if you're dealing with any kind of self-doubt, any kind of voice in your head saying that you'll never be successful, you won't be able to get this certification, you won't be able to do XYZ, I want you to watch the imposter syndrome video that I did right after this. I'm going to have that on the screen right now. Go watch that and deal with that first. And that's going to allow you to implement this strategy so much more effectively. So yeah, go and watch that video right now. Thanks for watching.